Alright, welcome back. So today I've got part two of um uh today I've got part two of NBA trades and free agency signings that I think could help NBA teams. Uh so yeah, well now this is part two, and now we're talking about the Western Conference. As you know, when I uploaded the video on Wednesday, I said I would do it yesterday, which was Thursday. But I couldn't because we got here really late and my computer glitched a little bit. Um, so yeah, I couldn't really do anything about that. So I had to do it today. But yeah, now I'm back, and yeah, let's get to it. I will now get to it. All right. So to start with it, we have the Nuggets, the Denver Nuggets. Um, Now remember, these are one-sided trades, so uh, these may affect a little bit some other teams. I try to make them a little balanced, so like I'm not trading a role player for a superstar. But there may be a little bit of blockbuster involved in some of these trades, and there is one trade ahead that I really want to get to. But yeah, let's go. So the Denver Nuggets, uh, obviously they're in kind of a weird spot because they have Jokic, Jamal Murray, and a very good player in Aaron Gordon. So I need to bring scoring output to think about doing something, and I think this could be one of their potential scenarios. So first, they trade Cameron Johnson to the Pelicans and bring in Dejounte Murray, who's a point guard who could help, who's a shot creator who could help Jamal Murray. He also averaged really good numbers this year, so that could help them, and that kind of lifts them off the Cameron Johnson contract and everything. And then they bring in R.J. Barrett and trade Christian Braun for Signanji, uh, and they give the Raptors a 2030 and a round two. They give the Raptors a 2028 round two and a 2023 round one, 2030. Oh my gosh, sorry. 2033 round one, and the Nuggets also bringing Russell Westbrook and then sign and trade him to the Raptors. I think this is a really good package for the Raptors, but I think this helps the Nuggets even more. Now they would have a little bit of a clog between Murray, and Bear, literally because Dejounte Murray and Jamal Murray. So yeah, Murray. There would be two Murrays on the team. Uh, but yeah. Besides that, that's kind of, I think that would help them a lot. And then they also, that clears cap space. That clears some cap space. So that allows them to bring in Bones Highland, who's kind of like an end of bench point guard, kind of a little better than Tyus Jones and everything. So that'll help them too. And then they also bring back Peyton Watson. This is kind of their future now, because while these trades may help the Nuggets, I still don't view them as a team that could win the title. Obviously, these are trades that help teams, uh, but the Nuggets have never really been, in my opinion, a team that has been capable of winning the title since about two. I mean, uh, this season was like the first season that I was like, this team is not winning a title again. And so I don't know if they could win this. So I think getting Peyton Watson back is going to be really important, because he's probably the best young option that they have. So yeah. But enough talking about that. We've got more trades to get ahead to. Um, let's get to our next trade. Sorry, my computer glitches a little bit sometimes. But what I wanted to say is that um, uh, so the next trade that we have is the Timberwolves. Basically, they trade uh, Terrence Shannon Jr. and basically the Timberwolves trade. This is kind of a for the Timberwolves, kind of a just because trade. Uh, this is kind of a just because trade, and I mean, I guess it's a little upgrade for Zachary Risache. Sorry, I had a major stutter there. I really didn't know what to say. My bad. I'm gonna cut that out probably. Um, but anyway, what I wanted to say is that this is probably a little upgrade than Terrence Shannon Jr. I don't know how much of an upgrade this is. I mean, it's kind of more of a trade because they had to trade someone. But they did bring in a free agent in Peyton Watson, which I think could potentially help them because that's a young player that they can rely on for a little bit more time. And he also brings a little bit of offensive production, so yeah. But I don't really have a major thing to say about I don't really have a lot to say about that. Yeah. Our next trade that we have up is for OKC. This is another team. There's some of these Western teams are kind of like trade them because I have to make a trade for them because I have to. OKC trades Brooks Barnhauser and for a 2028 round 2 pick from Orlando. I don't think it really affects OKC that much, and I guess Orlando gets an extra player just in case they need it. So but there's not really much to say about this. It's another one where I'm like, this is just because the team had to make a trade. But overall, I see that OKC didn't really need to make a trade. Next trade that we have is Portland. This team. So these first few teams, some of these first few teams, are actually just like I traded them because I have to, but it's not like I really wanted to trade them that much. The only thing I really wanted to do here was sign Derek Lively II to a 3-year deal. Just because I guess that could help them. He's also young, big, who could help them, and they kind of have a clog at the guard. And I mean, they do have kind of a lot of centers too, and power forwards. So, but just kind of evens it out. A lot of injury insurance and everything, and then they trade Chris Youngblood. Sorry. See, sometimes I stutter like this. I don't know why, but I don't usually stutter, but I don't know why. Sometimes I start stuttering like this. I'll try not to. Anyway, so yeah, they bring Chris Youngblood and they get a 2028 round 2 pick from San Antonio. Next up, we have the Jazz. This is a team where I don't really want to make a trade. I didn't see a trade necessary. I just need free agency, most of it. They bring back Kevin Love, so basically you bring back Kevin Love and they sign Scoot Henderson, who I think could be a really good piece for them if they did. Just because he brings scoring maybe off the bench or as a starter, possibly. Um, and yeah, I think it could be potentially useful for them. And then, uh, yeah, I think that could be really useful for them. And basically, they just trade Mike Hakliuk, something like that, for a 2029 round 1 lottery protected pick from the Mavericks. But the thing I wanted to focus on here was more majorly about the free agents. But yeah. So these last few teams haven't really had a massive need to have a breakdown of why and everything. The next trade that we have is a major one. So this is going to need a lot of breaking down. This is a 5-way team trade between Golden State, Indiana, Atlanta, Cleveland, and Houston. So I'm gonna break it down part by part. So basically, the Golden State Warriors trade Stephen Curry to Indiana. Now they could go all in. There are two ways that the Warriors could go about this. They could go all in for Steph Curry, sign a bunch of free agents, sign really good free agents, try to make some blockbuster trades, get rid of every young player they have. But they can also go the young way. And I think it would have been smarter to go the young way because I don't think Golden State is winning a title again. So I decided to go the young way and start building around Yaxel Lendenberg. So basically, Steph Curry, the Warriors trade Steph to Indiana, to the Pacers for Tyrese Halliburton, Quentin Jackson, and a 2028 round one top 8 protected pick. Basically, what this does is kind of give them a young, prominent point guard who's already shown he can play in the playoffs. Definitely, he's a really good point guard. He can shoot it. He can pass it. Passing is kind of what he's best at. He can definitely shoot it from deep. He's very efficient, and he's clutch as crap. As we saw, he's like extremely clutch. So as we saw in the 2025 playoffs. So I don't think there's much to talk about that. Quentin Jackson just brings some end of bench depth for playmaking. He's also athletic, so that helps Golden State a little bit. Then let's see. So that's what Warriors received from Indiana for Steph Curry. Then they trade Jimmy Butler and Guy Santos to Atlanta for Jalen Johnson. Now, I know Jalen Johnson just had a breakout year. He's really good. But Jimmy Butler and Guy Santos does make them better. Jimmy Butler can probably score more and more volume. He's also more experienced, which would help him a little bit more. And then Guy Santos is just kind of a little bit of young sweetener there for Atlanta. And actually, if you look at it, it says plus 5 wins right here. So it actually says Atlanta gains plus 5 wins by getting Jimmy Butler and Guy Santos and trading away Jalen Johnson. But that's what they receive from Atlanta, which also makes them younger, which already gives them a young duo of Halliburton and Jalen Johnson and Yaxel Lendenberg, which is actually tremendous for a rebuilding team like this. And then they trade Al Horford and Draymond Green to Cleveland, which actually kind of makes sense because the Cleveland Cavaliers are in a very win now scenario, and this is very win now for them. And so they actually get plus 2 wins too. So it's not like Jared Allen was like helping them that much. They actually get plus 2 wins by trading away Jared Allen. And so the Warriors received Jared Allen from Cleveland for Al Horford and Draymond Green. And that just gives them a younger center who's actually paint dominant and everything. And then they trade away Kristaps Porzingis and they sign and trade Seth Curry, and they bring in Jabari Smith. Why? Because Jabari Smith, he can space the floor. He can kind of do a Kristaps Porzingis job there. He's a young, athletic forward who can space the floor. And so they get a floor spacer in Seth Curry, and I think I said this too in part 1, but Seth Curry is often overlooked because of Steph Curry, but he's actually had the 7th most efficient 3-point scoring percentage in history, and in NBA history, and he's actually had a higher scoring efficiency percentage than his brother Curry. So I'm not saying he's a better shooter, obviously, but I'm just saying that he's underrated. And they get a 2028 round 1 protected pick from Houston, 2 out of the deal. So, and then Houston gets Porzingis and Seth Curry, who actually gains a win. And then Golden State brings back Gary Payton. They bring back Andre Iguodala just to have that veteran leader there. They pick up Jarris Walker on a $10 million contract, and they bring in Brandon Miller. I think this could be really good for a rebuilding team because now look at it. If I was the Warriors, if I had this, I would start Halliburton at the 1, Brandon Miller at the 2, Jalen Johnson at the 3, Yaxel Lendenberg at the 4, and Jared Allen at the 5. That actually has versatility. It has floor spacing. It has playmaking. It has athleticism. It has good finishers. It has rim protection. So yeah, and then you have Quentin Jackson, Jabari Smith, Andre Iguodala, Gary Payton, and Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, and everyone else on the roster coming off the bench. I think that could be really good for them. Um, I think that could be really good for them, and they get much younger, and they probably stay in contention. Uh, uh, so I think that could actually be really good for them. They also get 2 first-round picks out of the deal, which is also really important for a team that is looking to rebuild. This is actually a really good phase to start a rebuild. I mean, this probably you don't even want to rebuild here because you already have 2 stars, one probably upcoming stars, and elite players. Then you have Brandon Miller from free agency signing, who's gonna be really good for you, and everything. So yeah, this lineup also contains size, so they can definitely play defense. And you've got Jared Allen, and then you can draft a backup big through round 2 draft or anything. So yeah, I think this could be really good for them. I think this could potentially help them a lot and get them to be younger, because look at it. Jalen Johnson, I think he's 24. Jalen Johnson is 24 years of age. Uh, Tyrese Halliburton, he's 25, I believe, almost 26. Quentin Jackson, he's 23, I believe. Jabari Smith, he's also 23. Jared Allen, he's 30, but he is younger than Draymond and Al Horford, and you can probably still get 5 or 6 prime seasons out of him, honestly. Uh, and then uh, you get the picks, and you sign Brandon Miller, who's a young piece that's already shown flashes. I think he averaged something like 20 this season or something like that. Jarris Walker, young upcoming forward who already plays elite physical defense and everything. He can also score. He can go off sometimes. Um, Andre Iguodala, you bring in Gary Payton, who just brings it's just kind of a filler there, just to have some spots. So yeah, I think this would be a really interesting scenario for the Warriors. And if I was a Warriors fan, even though you let go of Curry and Jimmy, which would actually hurt a lot, um, I would be kind of happy about this because I know that in 3 or 4 seasons, 3 or 4 seasons, Curry's gonna retire, Jimmy's gonna retire, Draymond Green is gonna retire. I mean, Draymond Green's probably out of there as soon as Curry is. I think he's still in the Bay just because Curry's there. But as soon as Curry's out of the league, I don't think he'll even switch teams. I think he'll just retire. Jimmy might play a little bit more than Curry and Draymond, but I don't. There's really, and right now they don't really have a future. But this gives them a future to rely on for what the next 10 years and everything. And that gives them kind of like a 10 to 12 year window to try to get in contention back again. And honestly, this would probably get them in contention back again. In the West, I see this easily being a top 4 seed. This is easily a top 4 seed, because they have the bench weapons and you also have the starters. So yeah, but yeah, if I keep talking about the Warriors, it's gonna take up all the video. So yeah. Next team that we have is the Clippers to the Chicago. It's the Clippers. This is a team that needs a young center, and that young center is Nick Claxton. They trade Rui Hashimura, Brook Lopez, and they sign and trade Bradley Beal to Nick Claxton. Now I know this seems like a lot for Nick Claxton, but they do get a 2027 round 1 top 3 protected pick out of it, and a 2030 round 2 pick from Chicago, and you also bring back Benedict Mathurin. And while you might start losing more in the regular season, for the future, think of it this way: at the point guard, you have Darius Garland. At the shooting guard, you have Keaton Wagler Jr. Does he have a junior? Please answer that in the comments. And then at the center, you have that. And then, oh my gosh, what am I saying? Point guard, Darius Garland. Shooting guard, Keaton Wagler Jr. or not, I don't know. At the small forward, you probably put Benedict Mathurin. Power forward, who do they have? You probably want to draft someone or get someone through trade. And then at the center, you have a really good developing big in Nick Claxton, who right now is already a good shot blocker. He's already a good rebounder. He's already a good putback guy. He obviously still needs development, but right now he's already a good center, uh, and then let him develop even more. He'll be even better. So yeah, this team might suck. To be honest, this team might suck in the near future, but like maybe in 2029, 2030, 2031, this team is going to be good. Probably going to be good once like this era of the NBA passes, and like these NBA superstars that are older start aging. This is probably going to be at least a decent team if they keep continuing to build a roster off good young pieces. Now there are some pieces that I'm like, now their starting lineups does look a little bit questionable, even if they develop. But obviously they're gonna age, and then this team is still gonna be in their prime by the time everyone else ages. So yeah, or they're gonna be a little bit older, but they're definitely gonna be like probably around 32 is probably gonna be one of the oldest ages. For our next trade, we have the Lakers to trade Sandro Mamu something. Uh, his name is really too long to say. Mamu Kushalevi, something like that. Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Connect, and a 2031 round 2 to Minnesota for Jaden McDaniels, and they bring in Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. is just a decent kind of cheap pickup there for them that could help them a little bit just to have some depth in there. And then Jaden McDaniels, he's a young power forward who I think could easily slot into the starting lineup for the Lakers. Now, this does look a little bit kind of like a blockbuster to me. I don't know if Minnesota would exactly do this, but again, some of these trades are one-sided and they are a little bit of blockbusters. So I will say that. Yeah, I don't think this makes the Timberwolves much worse, but I do think this makes the Lakers better because McDaniels can play some offense, and he's also going to be better, much better defensively, and he can also kind of glue the team together. He's probably going to be that kind of glue that you'll put in. He's going to be probably that glue guy with Austin Reeves who like glue the team together, who make it feel like a togetherness, brings the chemistry together. And he can also help Walker Kessler at the rim. He can clean up the boards. Maybe if Walker Kessler misses something, he can clean up the boards and everything. So he could be really helpful to Walker Kessler too. So yeah, our next trade is our next trade is Suns, Phoenix. This is a team that I really didn't know what to do. This is a team that should start rebuilding because whatever you do, Phoenix is not winning a title anytime soon. They signed Kristaps Porzingis to maybe help Devin Booker have like a pick and roll big around that, but Phoenix is not winning. They should start rebuilding, and I believe that at least I personally believe that they should start rebuilding. They bring back Bol, and then they trade Haywood Highsmith for 2 second-round picks, which I think could start being useful if they can get as many picks as they can. Kind of do a little OKC maneuver, but I don't really have much to talk about this besides the fact that I think they should start rebuilding, and so that's just kind of what I think. And that's why, like, I traded Haywood Highsmith for 2 second-round Brooklyn second-round picks. So yeah. Sacramento Kings, another team. They should start rebuilding too. Now this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be really interesting. Sacramento trades DeAndre Hunter to Cleveland for Jalen Tyson, and 2 first-round unprotected picks, 2030 and 2033. Cleveland gives up some picks, but they do get a veteran who's going to help them win now, which is what they are looking for. This also actually, it says plus 2 wins for them, so you might want to look at that too. and so it also says +2 wins. So apparently it's not too bad of a move. And then Sacramento. This is where it's gonna get interesting, and you're gonna have to stay with me here. They get a young shooter in Jalen Tyson, and they get picks, which is what they're gonna need to start rebuilding. They waived Domantas Sabonis and signed Nikola Jokic. The reason that they signed Nikola Jokic is because maybe you hope that Jokic can, alongside Zach LaVine, and apparently now Darius Acuff Jr. can cook up a miracle and help Sacramento. But if it doesn't work out, you can trade Jokic for a huge package of picks to a team that wants to win now. For a massive package of picks, massive talent. I'm pretty sure any team is going to give up a massive amount of young talent and a massive amount of picks for Jokic if you need to. Obviously, you would like to get something for Domantas Sabonis, but nobody's going to take on a huge contract for Domantas Sabonis. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Domantas Sabonis. It's just that no team really wants to trade for him or anything. So you just have to waive Domantas Sabonis, and I'm pretty sure another team would pick him up. And it actually says +5 wins for Sacramento. So yeah, they just need like 20 more wins to be in the play-in. They just need, after this, they would just need 20 more wins to be in the play-in tournament. But yeah, whatever. Alright. Next trade. Pelicans are back in this, but they trade Mavericks trade Klay Thompson, Marcus Sasser, and 2028 round 1 top 5 protected pick, and a 2033 round 2 pick for DeJounte Murray. I feel like this kind of helps the Pelicans more than it does the Mavericks. I mean, this could help the Mavericks get some playmaking in there. I mean, DeJounte Murray can score the ball, and then you sign Grady Dick for bench depth. But I don't know. This feels kind of like an equal trade to me. The Mavericks were kind of a team that was like, I mean, there's nothing really to trade. But I mean, if I had to trade something, if I had to get something, it would probably be a little playmaking. So you also get younger with Klay. So I mean, now you have kind of a younger core of DeJounte Murray and Cooper Flag as kind of your future two stars. So that helps a little bit. Next team, Timberwolves. They trade Dante DiVincenzo, Zion Pullen 2030 round 2 pick for Cason Wallace. This is a small upgrade. This is an upgrade. It's not like a huge upgrade. It helps them a little bit. And the Timberwolves were kind of in a situation where I was like, I don't really see like a reason to trade anyone. I don't really see anything like that major gleaming out. Obviously, I mean, obviously they like a little bit of depth and everything after the LaMelo trade and everything. But I don't really see much. So yeah, it's kind of an alright thing over there. Thunder will probably do this because they got Dante DiVincenzo, young talent, and Zion Pullen. I mean, not like massive young, not like the greatest youngest talent of all time. No disrespect meant, but like you just like you get like Zion Pullen. You know, you get something good. You get something decent. You get decent young talent. And then you get a round 2 pick, which OKC loves to get round 2 picks, apparently. They're willing to trade their whole roster for round 2 picks, as we see this offseason. Alright, next trade. Houston Rockets. This, I don't know if it would give them a title, but I think it would help them. They trade Steven Adams, Reed Shepard, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and a 2027 round 1 pick via Phoenix unprotected for Emmanuel Quigley. Now, this helps them because they get extra playmaking, they get someone really fast who can score downhill, who's also a playoff, apparently, I'm pretty sure it was Emmanuel Quickley who scored the game-winning shot in Cleveland. Comment down below if I'm wrong. It might have been R.J. Barrett. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Emmanuel Quickley. Uh, who scored the winning shot to force a game 7. But Kevin Durant gets a playmaker. Sengun gets a playmaker along him. Just that helps him focus a little more on post defense and post doing things in the post, like a traditional center. I don't know if it would have helped him win the title, but I think it would help. Jae'Sean Tate, they bring back Jae'Sean Tate, just a little thing there. And yeah, there's not really a huge breakdown to do about this, but yeah. Next trade we have is Memphis. Memphis is a team that is looking to get younger, and so a little bit sleepy, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. But so Memphis brings young talent and Dyson Daniels, playmaker to help Cameron Boozer along the way, perimeter defense, just to help Cameron Boozer focus in locking down the paint. They bring in Jalen Green to focus on the scoring, and Benedict Mathurin also to focus on the scoring. And to be honest, I think this is if they did something like this, this would be one of the best young cores. Obviously, they let go of Jeremy Grant, but they're a rebuilding team. They are looking to get rid of their veterans, and that's exactly what they do in Jeremy Grant, Ty Jerome. Obviously, they have to give Atlanta a 2029 round 2, else I don't think they would think about trading Dyson Daniels, and even then, it's a little bit of a coin flip to see if Atlanta would actually do this. I think they might, but I'm not too sure. But now you let Dyson Daniels and Cameron Boozer can score, but then also Jalen Green and Benedict Mathurin, you could give them like the primary jobs to score off the starters. And I think that's really important because this would probably be one of the best young cores in the league. And it also has really good 3-level scoring. It also gives them really good 3-level scoring too. So I think that's kind of important. Yeah, I think this could be really good, and Memphis in the future could be really good if they did this. Obviously, they'd have to trade some more too, but they could be good. And then next up, we have the Pelicans. This is where they start a rebuild because let's be honest, they're not winning with Zion anymore, and so Trailblazers, they get Zion Williamson, and the Pelicans get Shadon Sharpe, Scoot Henderson, a 2027 round 1 pick unprotected, a 2028 round 1 pick unprotected of Milwaukee, and a 2031 round 2 pick. This actually gives the Pelicans a younger guard core to start building around, and then they'd have like 6 guards on the team now, but they also bring Amen Thompson on a $23 million per year contract for 2 years, which could be substantially good for them. And then for the Trailblazers, obviously it's about pairing superstars with superstars, because now this would be Ja Morant. We're not talking about the Trailblazers, but I just think it's good to point that out, that it would be Ja Morant, Damian Lillard, Deni Avdija, Zion Williamson, and Donovan Clingan in their starting lineup. But if you look here, it actually says plus 6 wins. Obviously, now you have DeJounte Murray, Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy III. That's kind of created some clogging problems. But I personally think it would be fine. I think they could figure this out. They could possibly get really good picks here. They get 2 round 1 picks to help them rebuild, which are really valuable. And 2031 round 2 pick, that helps them too. That helps them a lot too. Amen Thompson, they also bring a young piece in Amen Thompson who's super athletic. He can score. He's really athletic and everything. So I think this would help them a lot to start rebuilding. And if they waited it out and did some more aggressive moves, I'd see them being in like 2031, 2032 a top seed. well, maybe not a top seed, but like I think they'd be at least playing. Maybe I'm making some far claims about that. And then for our final trade, I wanted to end this with the Spurs trading De'Aaron Fox. I know everyone's wanting to trade De'Aaron Fox off the Spurs. He forgot how to play basketball in the NBA Finals. It's not your fault, De'Aaron Fox. It's your brain's fault that you forgot to play basketball. You know what? I'm gonna cut that out. I'm actually gonna cut that out, bro. That was actually not. That was no. Never mind. I'm just gonna cut out this whole part. Anyway, so and then so basically Spurs get Donovan Mitchell, Cavaliers get De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin, whatever, and a 2027 round 2 pick, and they get Kelly Olynyk. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Kelly Olynyk. It's kind of the same thing for the Cavaliers. You just get a little more deep. It's kind of De'Aaron Fox and Donovan Mitchell. I guess Donovan Mitchell has a little bit more scoring, but I mean De'Aaron Fox is also gonna play. He played along like stars, Stephon Castle. I don't know if you count Devin Vassell as a star. You definitely count Victor Wembanyama as a star. And then, but he also plays alongside stars, so it's kind of the same thing. And then the Spurs just get Donovan Mitchell back, someone who actually knows how to play basketball, and I think that could be really helpful because that could help them space the floor a little bit better too. So yeah, and this is also a guy who has really athletic finishing too, so he can get in the paint, finish at the rim, and everything. So yeah, I think this is one of the more interesting trades, but I still don't know how much of a breakdown there is to have done here. But that does it for part 2 of the video, guys. Make sure that if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. I actually want to tell you guys about something. So, if you want to see me do 2K content, because I haven't published yet, but I will publish videos where I have to do simulations and everything. But the problem is I don't have a PlayStation or an Xbox or whatever is needed to put the NBA 2K that you need to do those kind of simulations that I'm talking about. Which, if you're an NBA fan, if you watch these kinds of videos like Danny 2K and everything, you'll see that, and you'll see that the kind of 2K that I'm talking about. So I will have to use these simulations on like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is good. But I mean, I would like to have 2K too. But if you'd actually like to see some 2K content on this channel, please subscribe. I'm trying to please subscribe so that I can get an Xbox or a PlayStation to get 2K in. But please subscribe and give a like if you want to see 2K content. My bad. But besides that, yeah, this was for today's video of part 2 of one NBA trade and free agency signing that could help every team in the Western Conference, part 2. Until the next one.